All right, good evening, everyone. Seeing that it is the hour of 6 PM on Monday, March 21st, I'll call to order the regular meeting of the Planning Commission of the City of Ceres. If you'll all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. Notice that this meeting will be held in accordance with California Government Code Section 59453, Subdivision E of the Ralph M. Brown Act, California Government Code Section 54950, et sec, Series Resolution number 2022-06, and the Federal Americans with Disabilities Act. While this meeting will be physically open to the public, given the state of emergency regarding the threat of COVID-19, members of the public may also participate and comment via the application Zoom. Remote public comment is also available for the Planning Commission meeting by emailing planning@ci.ceres.ca.us by 5 PM on the date of the meeting. Include the agenda item number or public comment period in the subject line of the email. The clerk may read the written comments into the record if specifically requested to do so at the beginning of your email. Your written comment will also be distributed to the Planning Commission and kept on file as part of the official record of the Planning Commission meeting. All right, will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, Commissioner Del Nero,
Present.
Commissioner Johnson is absent this evening, Commissioner Catchell,
Here.
Commissioner Martinez,
Present.
and Chairperson Smith.
Here, thank you. Moving on, are there any conflicts of interest to declare? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to citizen communications to the commission on matters not included on the agenda. While the Planning Commission welcomes and encourages participation in the Planning Commission meetings, adopted rules allow no more than 5 minutes for expression of non-agenda items. Matters under the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission and not on the posted agenda may be addressed by the general public. However, California law prohibits the Planning Commission from taking action on any matter which is not on the posted agenda unless it is determined to be an emergency by the Planning Commission. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on anything not on the agenda? All right, public comments will now be accepted through Zoom. For those participating through the web, please raise your hand to request to speak using the hand icon located at the bottom right of your screen. If you're participating by phone, please press *9 on your phone. Names will be called in the order the requests are received, and your microphone will be unmuted when it's time for you to speak. Are there any Zoom comments?
I see no hands raised at this time.
Thank you. Have we received any public comments through the email?
No, I have not.
Thank you. All right, moving on to the consent calendar. Before I ask the clerk to read the consent calendar, there are 2 items I want to point out. When a motion is made, the approval of the minutes, item number 2, February 22nd, 2022, those will be acted on separately as I was absent. And then if Mr. Miller is on the line, I have a question regarding item number 3. There was a clerical error on the address in the last address. Instead of 4435, it should read 4436. And my question is, can we simply correct that, or does that require an action on the part of the commission? Mr. Miller on?
Yes, yes, I'm here. Do you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I do.
Okay. And this is on the item number 3 here.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. You can correct that. You could also take action as well. It would be a simple move to correct. If you'd like.
Well, we'd like to do whatever is going to be efficient and
Okay.
effective.
Okay, then I think you should move to accept with that correction.
All right, so in the motion then for items 1, 3, and 4, I'll ask the maker of the motion to include a correction of the address in item number 3 from 4435 to 4436 Admiral Court. And at this time, I'll ask for a motion for items 1, 3, and 4.
I'll move approval of items 1, 3, and 4 with the correction on item 3 from 4435 Admiral Court to 4436 Admiral Court.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, Commissioner Catchell.
Aye.
Commissioner Martinez.
Aye.
Commissioner Del Nero
Aye.
and Chairperson Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0 with 1 absent.
Thank you. We'll move now to item 2, which as a reminder, I'll be abstaining from the vote as I was not in attendance at the February 22nd meeting. So I will entertain a motion for item number 2.
I'll make a motion, approval of the minutes, February 22nd.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, Commissioner Del Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Catchell,
Aye.
Commissioner Martinez.
Aye.
And Chairperson Smith is abstaining, so motion passes 3-0 with 1 absent and 1 abstention.
Thank you. Moving on, no items were removed from consent. We'll move to public hearings. Item number 5, vesting tentative subdivision map 2113. Proposal for a vesting tentative subdivision map entitlement to subdivide 8.4 acres into 46 residential lots for the property located 650 feet south of the Moore Road, Whitmore Avenue intersection, just east of Moore Road. AMA Partners LLC is the applicant. Do we have a staff report?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. James Michaels with the Planning Division. As you can see here on the screen here, it's an aerial photo of Whitmore Ranch specific plan that the city adopted back in October of 2018. In May of 2021, the City Planning Commission approved a vesting tentative subdivision map for the subdividing of a 19.3 acre site into 107 residential lots at the property located at 3340 East Whitmore Avenue. That map is known as Whitmore Ranch Phase 1. Mr. Holm, page 90, please. In October 2021, the city received its second tentative map submittal for the specific plan area from the same applicant that submitted for the Phase 1 map. And so what the Planning Commission is considering tonight is a proposal to subdivide an 8.4 acre site into 46 residential lots located approximately 650 feet south of the Moore Road, Whitmore Avenue intersection, just east of Moore Road, which is known as Whitmore Ranch Phase 2 subdivision. The proposed 46 lot subdivision comprises of 32 low density residential lots, 14 medium density residential lots, and a 1 acre park basin. The typical size range that we're looking at here for the designated low density parcels is from 5,798 square feet to 7,800 square feet. And the medium density parcels would be about 2,320 square feet to 2,917 square feet. The proposal was routed to the various city departments and no objections were raised. The property is regulated under the specific plan, which has development standards with respect to maintaining minimum lot size, lot dimensions, and setbacks. Proposed parcels are configured to be consistent with these development standards, and they are consistent with the lots of the previously approved Whitmore Ranch Phase 1 tentative map. As each parcel will be developed with a single family home, it should be noted that prior to any development taking place on these lots, the applicant will need to obtain approval of a planned community development plan entitlement, which the home designs and their placement on these lots would be subject to review and approval by the Planning Commission. The development plan process is subject to a public hearing before the City Planning Commission. And so the same level of notice that was done for this proposed subdivision map will be required for that hearing as well. The subdivision includes several new streets and alleys with the primary access into the site provided from Moore Road to the west and Lunar Drive to the east. The subdivision's right-of-way areas shall be dedicated and appropriately developed to be consistent with the specific plan. Proposal will also include project-related improvements such as sewer, water, storm drainage, which will be part of the foundation necessary to serve the remaining properties within the specific plan. Staff believes the project maintains consistency with this specific plan, the general plan, and the zoning ordinance, and therefore can be supported with the conditions of approval listed in the staff report. One thing that I do want to point out, each of the commissioners and staff members received a proposed amendment. It would look like this. It should be on the dais there for each commissioner. After the staff report was sent out to the applicant contacted staff to discuss 6 conditions of approval that they wish to modify. These are engineering related conditions. And after reviewing the request, we are in agreement with their proposed modifications. And so what you're looking at here would be anything highlighted in yellow would be what would be added language, each of those conditions. And anything that was strike through would be stricken from it. If the commission is looking to approve this item tonight, staff would then be renumbering these conditions accordingly this week. So that concludes my presentation. If, again, the commission is going to entertain a motion to approve, I would ask Ms. Ann Montgomery to read the revised conditions for the record.
Thank you. Let's talk for a second about these changes. Since they were just given to the commission, do you want to briefly go through each one and identify what they are so that the commission can get an understanding of what these changes represent?
Sure. The first one has to do with the timing of when a developer is looking at when they want to acquire or develop a certain right of way. If they're not able to obtain that, then they need to they shall pay a cost for the city up front, the cost of eminent domain proceedings. That was something that the applicant felt that, you know, you may have a situation where, if I can. Okay, so when it comes to offsite right-of-way acquisition, the condition, according to the applicant, seemed open-ended as it relates to improvements which are not required at the time of the tentative map and could theoretically allow the city to require additional offsite improvements at a later time, which the developer may not have agreed to. So it's been the experience of the developer that conditions to construct offsite improvements tied to a particular improvement. And so for this project, no offsite improvements are proposed on the adjacent properties, and they're not nor any improvements anticipated. So they wanted to have that condition be modified accordingly where it would make sense. And so that's what you're looking at on revised condition 9 from their perspective. It seems to make more sense.
Okay, so
That's the
before you
reason.
move on, I just want to make sure I understand that. So the original item 9, which is above it in the non-highlighted section, indicates that with regard to the right of way, if they're unable to obtain it, then they pay for the cost of the right of way. And this new revision now allows them to, instead of paying for it, enter into an agreement to give them additional time.
Right, basically, yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
And number 14, is in regards to city, the verbiage is the city has the right to review and reassess construction plans if construction doesn't happen soon after recording of a map. The applicant has requested that this condition be eliminated. Essentially, this is more like if, for example, if there were improvement plans approved at a certain time frame, but yet the project didn't get constructed till later on, like maybe 10 years down the road was a situation, I think, like that. That is something that originally the city was looking at, for protections from the city, but because there would be a subdivision improvement agreement in place that would kind of cover what would be at the present time should that occur. And so there was no need for that condition, and we recommend it be eliminated. Condition 22, A and B. Basically, essentially here, there were some discrepancies in the numbers. And so staff corrected those accordingly so that the appropriate dedication of amount of feet of dedication and improvement would be
Okay, so
correct.
this was just a math thing because the total amount didn't change.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. On the reverse side of, it'd be condition 25. Revising condition 25C. Essentially, basically, it was to clarify that the storm drain lines would be, constructed to city standards. And it's necessary to provide adequate drainage for the product site and the conformance of the city standards. It was just, again, a clarification. And number 31, below that, this had to do with the curb gutter being permitted in certain places and not in others. And in the previous, the applicant pointed out in the phase 1 of the map that curb and gutter would be permitted in the alleyways. So with the alleyways here, we wanted to be have there be some consistency. So on the last sentence of that condition, it would read, drive over type curb gutter is not permitted except within alleyways as illustrated on that detail of the definitive map. And then finally, and then the last one had to do with the condition number 2, general conditions of approval. It was adding an insertion regarding slope easements. So it would basically, in the second sentence, it currently reads in the second sentence, no grade severance that exceeds 2 inches to adjoining properties may be permitted without masonry retaining walls. And the verbiage that would be added or grading slopes. If a grading slope can be determined to be utilized, the developer shall acquire a slope easement from the affected property owner.
Okay, so
But-
let me make sure I understand that one. So in the event that a slope easement can be acquired, a masonry retaining wall would not be required.
Correct.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? I appreciate your doing that for me since we got them this evening. Okay. All right. Any other questions of staff on this item? No? All right. Seeing none, I will open up the public hearing. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this item. You can. All right. No? All right, I'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the commission for discussion and or a motion, please. So Mr. Miller's on the line, but I believe in your motion, you can make a motion to do whatever it is you're going to ask with the, include the revisions for as provided by staff
Yeah.
to the conditions.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Approve the vesting tentative submap, adding or removing the stricken.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Certainly. Commissioner Martinez,
Aye.
Commissioner Catchell.
Aye.
Commissioner Del Nero
Aye.
and Chairperson Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0 with 1 absent.
Right. Let's move on to item number 6, Mitchell Road Corridor Specific Plan Text Amendment 22-04, proposal to consider a zoning ordinance text amendment to the Mitchell Road Corridor Specific Plan that would give the City Planning Commission the authority to adopt main building heights exceeding the current specific plan of 35 feet on property zone RC Regional Commercial. City of Ceres is the applicant. Staff
Thank
report.
you very much. So as the Planning Commission is aware, the commission approved the Ceres Gateway Center project located at the southwest corner of Service and Mitchell Roads in February of 2020. For the past 2 years, the project representative has approached staff frequently to discuss potential business users for both phases 1 and 2 of the project. Phase 1 primarily consists of retail development. Phase 2 primarily consists of a hotel development. Property is zoned regional commercial per the corridor plan, which is the governing document for this area. Ceres Gateway Center representative recently informed staff that the developer, we have a developer is highly interested in constructing a hotel for the phase 2 portion of the project. However, the desired floor plan for the hotel would be a 4-story building, which may result in over a height of 45 to 50 feet, and thereby exceeding the specific plan level height limit of 35 feet. The C2 commercial zone of the zoning code is outside the Metro Road Corridor specific plan area, but it is in many ways substantially similar to the regional commercial zone of the specific plan. But one minor difference is that in the C2 community commercial zone allows the height of proposed buildings such that the said height of building would be approved by the Planning Commission, but without a defined height limit. After considering the hotel example and other potentially taller commercial structures in the RC Regional Commercial Zone District, staff recommends modifying the current specific plan height standard in the regional commercial zone to be similar to that of the C2 community commercial zone of the zoning code. And so what staff proposes is amending the Mitchell Road Corridor specific plan height standard with added language that gives the City Plan Commission the authority to allow buildings proposed within the regional commercial zone to exceed the 35-foot height limit. The added language is underlined in green, which can be viewed on page 4 of the staff report, as well as draft PC resolution 2205 of the staff report. Essentially, the majority of the language for the current standard would remain unchanged, except that there would be one additional sentence to the height of the structure section to state, quote, main buildings and permitted projections within the RC regional commercial zone may exceed the height limits described above, subject to approval by the Planning Commission. So staff supports the amendment. It does establish a flexibility to permit a range of building heights, which would be suitable for the regional commercial zone corridor area. The amendment would not apply to the other non-regional commercial zone properties like community commercial, highway commercial, as most of those properties are in the airport overlay flight zone. And so they would be still limited to the 35-foot height restriction. The amendment does assist in maximizing the southern portion of the corridor area, and that it encourages employment generating uses that are like a regional market attraction, such as a hotel, to open here in Ceres that may not otherwise exist if the current height restriction remains in place. And finally, the amendment has the potential to attract a good mixture of businesses that want to relocate here to Ceres, by providing a strong economic base, which will benefit the Ceres community. So that concludes staff's presentation.
Okay, thank you. And just to be clear, and maybe you said this at the beginning, this is would be a recommendation from the Planning Commission to the City Council for approval.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Any questions of staff?
I'm thinking, so is this specific just for this motel type thing? Or is it just everything that goes along?
If you look at the map on the screen, everything that's kind of highlighted in red with stars are various properties that have the regional commercial zone. It would apply to all zones, those properties in that zone.
So they could basically apply, they would have to get permission and then they could go higher.
Correct.
Okay.
1 or 2.
And obviously, our planning department thinks this is a good thing.
Yes. that is correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to be clear, going higher means at a maximum of 4 stories.
Yeah, it could, but it's per what the commission would suggest. From staff's perspective, there aren't many, there wouldn't be a reason to go beyond 4 stories. You
But it
know, there
would be
aren't any-
allowable subject to planning commission
Correct.
consideration.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
correct.
You have any questions for staff? All right, seeing no more questions from the commission, I will open it up to the public. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this matter? Okay, oh, I forgot to ask last time if there was anyone on Zoom that would
No,
like to
there
speak.
wasn't, and there isn't anyone now. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. It's getting confusing. All right, I will close the public hearing, bring it back to the commission for discussion and or a motion, please.
Makes perfect sense to me. Drive up and down, just the state, I just got back, speak from a trip, and these hotels about that height are pretty much popping up very frequently at freeway interchange. Sense that we would have the same opportunity at this location, so I think it's a great. With that, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we accept the project as consistent with CEQA guidelines. Section 1.5. And recommend the city council approve zoning ordinance text amendment 22-04 per the findings and proposed revisions. The Mitchell Road corridor specific plan listed in draft PC resolution 22-05.
All right, thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, Commissioner Catchell,
Aye.
Commissioner Martinez, Commissioner Del Nero,
Aye.
and Chairperson Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0 with 1 absent.
I'm not sure, but we're getting somebody something. Okay, well, I
Not
appreciate
your
that.
tummy?
I agree. Having flexibility in this is good. I like this. We'll keep moving on. New business, there's none. No public meetings, no unfinished business, no matters initiated by the planning commission staff. We'll move on to reports from the commission. Mr. Del Nero,
The 13th, I celebrated my 40th wedding anniversary.
congratulations.
My wife isn't here, just shout out to her.
Well, congratulations.
Yes, thank you
That's
so much.
quite a milestone.
Yes.
Congratulations to your wife. It's probably more in order.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll keep going.
Planning commission meeting being without technical problem, huh? I have no reports.
Oh, I bet you it's this. Nope, wasn't that. All right. We'll just keep going and see if we can outrun it. Nothing, I have nothing to report. City Attorney, Mr. Miller,
Hello, nothing to report. Thank you.
thank you. And city staff. And before we go to city staff, I take that back. Because I wasn't here the last meeting, and I believe, Anthony, you were new at the last meeting and I missed it. So welcome from me. I'm sure everyone else already said that to you, right? But I wanted to acknowledge you, and you came from the Opportunity Stanislaus. And so welcome. We're glad to see you, glad to have you, and look forward to seeing what you're able to accomplish for us now that we can have 4-story buildings. Go get them. All right. Okay. How's that for putting them on the spot? All right. Anything else from staff?
Not at this time, but we do want to thank you for your service.
Thank you, Chris. Good to see you. Okay, seeing that let's see, we're moving on to adjournment. So I will adjourn the meeting to the next regularly scheduled planning commission meeting, which is going to be on Monday, April 4th. Thank you and have a good evening.